right. So as part of our Boomers on the Move, I've got Remy Morvan, broker owner of Capital Homes Realty Inc., brokerage in Ottawa, with us today. And welcome, Remy. And can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Thanks for having me on, Scott. A little bit more about myself. So as you mentioned, I'm a broker and owner at my brokerage, Capital Homes Realty. Been in real estate 11 plus years now, and have always lived in Ottawa since moving here for school. So been here for approximately 17, 18 years. So
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful city. I come from a small town, and yet Ottawa has all the amenities I find from a big city, but still has the small town feel. I'll run into someone that knows someone from my hometown constantly. There's a very good sense of community here in Ottawa, so it's happy to call it home.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and I met you at the Ontario Real Estate Association Technology Conference a few years ago, and you were presenting some tech stuff on for realtors. So
yeah, I spoke a few years in a row for OREA on digital marketing, things like that. It's with all the new technology, listing homes now is just not simply putting it up on MLS. There's so much of a different background that you have to do, and you're always trying to keep up with everything that's new. Even now, there's the new age of TikTok and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Ever changing, so we have to learn to adapt just to make sure that our clients' homes are getting the most amount of exposure.
Yeah, and it really empowers buyers and sellers of real estate because they have access to a lot more information than ever before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome. So Remy, can you tell us more about the greater Ottawa marketplace?
Yeah, right now, so Ottawa's is an interesting market because it's big, but it basically it encompasses as one. I feel near Toronto, the markets are a bit more segregated, where here, even though we have Orleans, Canada, Stittsville, Carleton Place, our agents can work usually the entire area because it may be spread out in kilometers, but in terms of population, we still have a relatively low population of just over 1 million for the greater Ottawa area. So it's still not a big city. So, but the market right now, it's definitely a competitive one. We have a lot of people are moving to Ottawa, whether it is to retire or for new businesses that are opening up. Canada, the business sector or technology sector is ever growing. A lot of companies are coming here. So it's an interesting marketplace. It's it's still very affordable. That was, one of the key components for Ottawa being ranked in best places to live in Canada was its affordability. It is rising in the last few years quite rapidly. This virus has not brought us down at all. Our prices are still going up, but more marginally now. Right.
Awesome. Awesome. Can you detail a little bit about the communities that could be appealing for baby boomers that are thinking about relocating to Ottawa? And they're looking for, kind of maybe the high rise in the downtown areas, possibly like townhomes, condo townhomes or freehold townhomes, and detached bungalows. And maybe a little bit about, communities where they might find, things to do and find that they fit right in.
Yeah, the core of Ottawa and going out, we have a lot of development, a lot of high-rise buildings, so brand new buildings with all the amenities that are being built and currently going through occupancy right now. A brand new Claridge Icon, which is the tallest building in Ottawa. Beautiful building right next to...
How many floors is that?
I believe, I don't want to give you false information, but it's the tallest building in Ottawa, and it's right next to the hospital and next to it's actually across the street from the future Civic campus, which should be starting to be built in the next few years. So it's going to be a brand new state-of-the-art hospital that will literally be across from that. But Ottawa, even very close to these areas, you can still get into bungalows under 600,000. If you're looking for smaller communities, that's what I love about Ottawa is you're a 30-minute drive to everything. So you could be a 30-minute drive to Carleton Place, Almont. There's Richmond and Kemptville. So if you want to be on the exterior but still be able to access everything that Ottawa has to have, like the National Art Gallery and things like that, you can get really affordable homes and bungalows and townhomes just on those outlying areas. And Stittsville and Canada have grown into, they continue to develop and are coming closer and tightening Ottawa as a city as a whole.
Right. So if you were going to look at house types and prices and kind of break it down a little bit for like averages, what would somebody expect to pay for a different style home? And typically boomers, want, nice finishes, bigger units. If it's a condo, they want the big ones, or, nice laid out bungalows. What price ranges would you be looking at?
We're creeping into the price range for freehold. So if that's a townhome, we're getting very close to 500,000 as the average.
Okay.
So especially if it's newer, nicer finishes, you're going to be, even if it's a townhome, you're going to be above 500.
Okay.
And then bungalows and singles are, they're likely mostly all over 600,000, especially in Stittsville, Canada area. As you're getting closer into town, it will get more expensive, and they are older. And the infill properties the prices are increasing substantially, where you'll get a townhome for maybe 800 or 750.
Okay.
But still, quite affordable, and depending on the areas, that's what's great is you do have a wide range of selection, so it's you're not far from anything. And then condos, depending if it's a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom condo, you can get some under 400.
Okay.
But 2-bedroom condos now, they're all going to be over 400 to 550 area for something quite nice, and that includes some decent amenities.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And when it comes to transportation, can you tell us a little bit about how people get around in Ottawa? I understand there's a new light rail transit system that's partially running now, and they're expanding that out even to like out Orleans Way, I believe.
Yeah, they're expanding it out in both directions and eventually all the way out to Canada. So right now the initial LRT line is running. It's it hasn't been without its issues in the media.
Right.
Any major project like that. So it's running quite smoothly now, and it's running throughout the city all the way to Gloucester Center, which is very close to Orleans in the east. So the next phase is already underway. So they're already digging and working on stage 2, which will get us all the way to Bell's Corners, which is close to Canada. And then when you go east, it's going to go all the way to Orleans. And then the future one will go even deeper into Orleans. So they're expanding the boundaries a little bit. But the city's main focus is still on infill to, put more riders into the LRT that is existing in future, which is why a lot more high-rises and nice condo buildings are being approved.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit more about the communities right in Ottawa? I know you've got, the Glebe, you got Westboro, and it seems to be every kind of like those little downtown communities that, have amenities of that urban downtown feel.
Yeah. Those two communities are obviously the most popular ones, the Glebe and Westboro. Westboro, it's its own mini village, really, but it's expanding now. Mechanicsville and Hintonburg are creeping in development to form part of Westboro. They'll be their own thing, but it's becoming now. So a lot of people are developing in these areas, which is actually really close to the LRT. You're getting a whole different type of mixture of properties as developers are getting creative with smaller lots. They're making these homes, fit the urban landscape in a very nice way. But there's also a lot of, especially for people that want to leave and come into the city but not be too far away. You have great neighborhoods that are just on the outskirts of these of the Glebe and Westboro that dramatically the affordability. You're only 5-10 minutes away. The affordability will drop by a significant percentage. So you can get a nice bungalow. It might not be a newly built bungalow, but you'll get something that was built in the 60s that was updated that is still very affordable. And then because when you do end up in Westboro and the Glebe, you're not getting anything under 800 or 900.
Oh, okay, right. I was down to that new development too, down by the new stadium there on Bank Street.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's what's that about? It looks like a cool little kind of almost a little village, a brand new village there.
They do.
And then you
So
get,
yeah, the Lansdowne is the
yeah,
stadium,
Lansdowne. Yeah,
stadium for our CFL team.
right,
And they've done an amazing job there. So there's a Whole Foods, there's Good Life, there's a whole bunch of restaurants, and exactly like you said, it's like this mini village that most people that live in that area often have one car or no cars, right?
right,
You literally have everything
right,
at your doorstep.
right,
So living off Bank Street in Ottawa South, so it's
right,
just south of the glebe.
right,
You literally have everything. You don't really need to go anywhere other than
right,
by foot. And there's good transit. So even though we talked about the LRT, Ottawa has really good transit system with regular pickups. The bus system is very well run, I believe, here in
right,
Ottawa. So
right, right. Cool, awesome. And how about amenities and things to do in Ottawa?
at the beginning, that's what I mentioned is Ottawa feels like a small town, but we have everything. So we have the NHL team, we have the concerts, we have the NAC, the National Art Gallery, or National Arts Center, where there's all kinds of shows and orchestras and as well as a ton of museums that are accessible. I find, I challenge people in bigger cities to show us what we don't have.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
it's usually everything that comes through Montreal or Toronto will make a stop in Ottawa. Whether that's an exhibit at a museum, whether that is a concert or a show, the Cirque du Soleil.
Right.
We pretty much have everything coming through town that a big city would have, but yet
Right.
we still hold this smaller town feel.
Yeah, and even like on the outskirts, you've got the Gatineau there.
Yeah.
And with the Nordic Spa and all the trails and the different kinds of interesting, places to go out there.
Gatineau Park for hiking or biking is beyond beautiful. And it's literally and that's what's beautiful is even if you're living downtown, you can get to Gatineau Park within 15 minutes of a drive. And the Nordic Spa, I've been there a few times. I can vouch for
sure
relaxing day you're gonna
it makes a good date for sure. So,
yeah.
yeah, and there's a few ski hills out there too that for winter activities and sports.
I'm an avid skier. Yeah, a lot of cross-country trails as well if you're a cross-country skier. But I'm an avid skier, and there's multiple hills just across the border into Gatineau. And they vary in difficulty levels. And if you're willing to drive just an hour away, you're going to hit places like Mont Saint-Sauveur. An hour and 45 minutes away, you can be in Mont Tremblant, maybe about 2 hours. So really close to some of,
Could be a day trip. Yeah.
We'll do Tremblant at least once or twice a year. And it's a short trip. You leave at 8 in the morning. You're there at 10 until 6, back by 8. It's perfect.
Yeah, and lots of lakes around too. You've got the Rideau chain of lakes there for summer activities and boating and cottaging. Yeah,
cottage is big around here, and a lot of lakes on the Quebec side as well. But you have in Carleton Place, I think that's what was one of the big draws for Carleton Place to initially. It really boomed in development because you have the Mississippi Lake there, and cottage life there, and outside, like you said, the chain of the big Rideau, the little Rideau around Smith Falls. So you can potentially move from Toronto, get a very affordable home in Ottawa, and still get the lake house as well for the summer. So it's a great place to be.
Yeah, nice. And so I guess kind of, the airport's close by, of course. You got a big international airport. You got regular flights, and for anybody that wants to get out down south or go to Europe or travel.
And every year, we always used to have to go through Toronto, and now every year I find my family's trips have been getting, more and more direct. Direct to Florida, direct to Dominican, direct to Cancun. So there's a lot of different options now where you don't have to go through Montreal or Toronto. And as they're expanding it, Ottawa and as our population growth is expected to increase quite quite significantly over the next decade.
Right.
So that's what's fueling the airport to to include all these new flights.
Right. Right. Yeah. Awesome. So if somebody's thinking about Ottawa as a destination that they want to find out more about and explore, what would be the next step for them, Remy?
To be honest, it's like you've done, Scott, you've done some good research and some great questions on different amenities. It's really, they need to ask themselves what their lifestyle would look like in Ottawa, because you can have it all. So you can be in the country and live a nice, peaceful, quiet retirement, or you can be in the middle of it all, downtown near the National Arts Center, near all the museums, near all the shopping. So it really would come down to what they are, and then get a hold of someone, and not necessarily me, but get a hold of an expert in Ottawa. I'd obviously be willing to chat and answer questions, but get someone that really knows, that can sit down, make a list of it. Not necessarily, you want to include the home and the home type and its condition and, and amenities within the home, but it's also your lifestyle. I find a lot of people make a mistake, often move here. They say, hey, look what I can sell my Toronto home for X amount and get this place in Ottawa for half the price, but then they're not happy. They end up selling 2 years later because they should have made the decision to get a little closer, or so it's really finding out what they envision the next chapter looking like. And
then maybe jump in the car, go down for a couple of days and do a tour, maybe set up a few homes to have a look at and get an idea of different neighborhoods. Drive through neighborhoods.
I'm willing. I'm always I love exploring the city, and beautiful hotels and a great downtown. Lots of restaurants. Although right now they're patio only outside. But some amazing food here as well. Yeah, for sure. A lot of variety, because you've got it's pretty multicultural, I think, in Ottawa, from what I have seen just driving around. It's pretty varied. It's almost that it's got kind of a similar feel to some of the downtown areas, even of Toronto, where you've got different cultures and foods and things. Festivals. Exactly. Oh, the amount of festivals here is incredible. And even just on the outside in the smaller communities, they have a lot of festivals, and there's something going on. There's something going on 24/7 here, so there's no lack of entertainment for to Ottawa. But we are positioned to be one of the next Toronto, Vancouver kind of. It's what we're being pegged as in a lot of articles, as it's the next logical step for the next major city in Canada. So we're just over 1 million, but in the next decade or 30 years, we're likely going to be 1.4, 1.8 million. And and it's a welcoming community. Every time I go there, people are friendly, and there's new people moving to the Ottawa region all the time, and it just has a good community feel that I think is important for anybody that's moving kind of into a new community, that at least a good start would be a good welcoming community. So and Ottawa's got that. So awesome. All right, well, thanks, Remy. Appreciate that. Remy Morvan, and feel free to reach out to Remy if you have any questions or wanted to know more about the Ottawa region. And I appreciate your time today. I appreciate you, Scott. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Remy. Take care. Okay, see ya. Bye.